You should be meditating.
Yes, you should.
The benefits of meditation are ridiculous.
Absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, and we wanted to make this video because we feel like meditation still isn't common practice. And I think a lot of people believe that it's not accessible or that it's woo-woo and airy-fairy and a bit out there,
Yeah,
right?
the perception's a bit distorted. I think when
Yeah.
people hear meditation, they think of some person cross-legged humming, going, oh, right?
Yeah.
And we're here to smash that, just like you should smash the like button.
Nice.
Oh,
Love it.
And get right into it, because there's so many benefits to it, right?
Yeah, so we're going to obviously talk about our experience mostly because we can't really talk from anyone else's experience, can
Yeah.
we? But for me, it has really, really helped me to understand how my brain works and how I get thoughts and where they come from. That's the main thing for me. I understand how my brain takes over more.
Yeah, it's like about mindfulness, right? It's
Yeah.
about taking a look at what's going on, what's going through your head, really, right? If
Yeah.
you don't observe anything that's coming in, like your thoughts aren't necessarily your truth, right?
No, not at all.
Which is a pretty awesome thing to discover, which you do in meditation.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what meditation is, right? It's not necessarily having a completely blank mind, which is what I also think people believe, because I know that that's what I believed.
Yeah.
And when I first started meditating, if I was sat there and I was having all these thoughts coming in, I'd be like, oh, for God's sake, like,
Yeah.
stop thinking about stuff. You got to have a clear head. That's what meditation is. Oh, you're failing at this.
Yeah, and for me, I think meditation's really been about stress management. I mean, there's
Yeah.
been situations throughout my life where I get built up intense and aggravated.
We all do,
and
right?
It allows me to just stop and just take a deep breath, right? Okay, this isn't that important, or it's not that serious, or this will pass, right? It's an emotional management system.
Yeah, completely.
Right? It's allowing me to be like, okay, like I don't need to be that bent out of shape over, like this morning, I spilt
Yeah.
peanut butter on the floor, right? And like I just, but like I could have really flipped out,
Yeah.
right? But I didn't go there, right? I was able to just stop, take a deep breath, and move forward throughout my day and not let it get ruined by a piece of peanut butter on the floor.
Yeah, and that's a huge thing. If you can stop and just take a moment and realize that getting angry and frustrated isn't gonna solve anything, and that you can choose to just breathe and get over it. It's just peanut butter on the floor. It's not,
Right. I think there's another benefit as well for both of us, is that it helps us slow down and get to bed. Helps us sleep, right?
Yes. Sleep is very, very big. Very big.
Very big, right? Because so there's so many different options to meditation, right?
Yeah, and that's what we want to talk about mainly as well in this video, is that, like we said, I think a lot of people think that you have to be like on top of a mountain in an orange robe, cross-legged, with like the
Right?
gongs and all of that, right?
Yeah.
It's humming and chanting and all of the mystical, like inaccessible, weird, like don't understand it, I'm not gonna do that in my living room kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly.
And we want to say that at the most basic level, like Alex was just saying about taking a breath, that is meditation, right? Because
Yep.
that is taking a moment to simply stop
And be mindful.
and be mindful and
Yeah.
go, okay, I'm not going to blow my lid because there's peanut butter on the floor. I'm just going to take a breath, calm down, and I'm just going to clean it up,
Yeah.
right? It's making the decision to give yourself a choice, if
Yeah.
that makes sense.
To have that awareness, right?
Yeah.
Another way that worked for me initially is I just set aside, I put a timer on my phone
Yeah.
and put it on 2 minutes.
Yep.
And I just sat still for 2 minutes and tried to see what was coming into this brain, and it's not easy, but it gets easier, and the practice helps you be aware and mindful of what's going on, right? And it's just start with 2 minutes and maybe increase it to 4 and try to sit and just be still and observe your thoughts, right? It doesn't matter about what thoughts are coming in. It's just letting them come and letting them go. And that's all it is.
Because that's it, right? I think initially, yeah, like you said, starting with a minute or 2 minutes, just set a timer on your phone and just sit there in silence and observe what you think about, right? And make the conscious effort to be like, okay, what's this thought? Oh, I have to book this for next week. Okay, right. Next thought. And see what you're thinking about, and
Yeah.
let's see how you feel about it too. Like, If you have to book something, is it giving you anxiety because you've got to call them on the phone and you've got to go through all these details and blah, blah, blah. And it's because there's so many people go throughout their day, right, with all these thoughts and all these feelings, but you don't stop and go, all right, how do I feel really?
Yeah.
Where is this thought coming from? It's
like
starting that awareness of yourself.
Yeah,
really.
And it's like asking why and where is this coming from and why do I attach that feeling to it of stress or anxiety or fear or whatever it's coming, right? That thought coming in.
Yeah.
What really helped me when I first started meditation is I downloaded an app.
Yes.
Called Insight Timer.
We love Insight Timer.
It's great. I mean, there's a whole list of different types of meditation.
So many, from just music. So different types of music. There's, guided. You can choose, obviously, male voices, female voices. There are people on there. So if you like someone in particular, then you can follow them and just do their meditations.
Yeah.
What I will say with guided meditations, for me personally, I'm not a huge fan. I mean, I do enjoy a guided meditation, but not certain ones. So when it's very, very like tinkly, fluffy music, I don't know how to explain it. But like, that doesn't bother me so much. But when it's very like, and then you've got someone speaking like this, that does not do it for me.
Yeah.
Right? And that is also what we want to get across, is that meditation is whatever works for you.
Yeah, it's absolutely personal. Like, completely personal. It's just about taking the time for yourself.
Yeah. So if you like to sit in complete silence and that works for you, great. If you love the tinkly, tootly, floofy music,
that's great.
That's great too.
We're not bashing that either,
no,
right?
not at all. Like, not at all.
Even walking or activities can be meditative, right? I mean, going for a walk and observing nature and being present and trying not to think too much about the future and too much about the past, just being in the moment, right? I think walking's huge for a lot of people.
Walking is a really, really good one. I love walking meditations. Again, there are even guided walking meditations.
Yeah.
Or again, put some music on, calming music as you walk, right?
Yeah.
Or like you just said, it's basically making the decision to say, I'm going to go on this walk, I'm going to be present, I'm going to look at the trees, I'm going to look at the stone wall. You're just going to take in what's around you, not with your head down on the phone the whole time, or even talking to who you're with. Even if you just walk for 2 minutes and just take everything in and be present, right?
Yeah, it's about being present.
That counts.
Yeah, definitely. Like, even for me, it's very meditative process of how I make my coffee. I'm very deliberate in my actions and like watching like how I pour the water and all this stuff. Like, I just get present, right? There's so many little activities. Like, I mean, it can be extremely hard for some people. They have full lives, busy lives. Like,
we were saying before we started filming, right? So my best friend has 3 children. Obviously, she's an extremely busy woman, right? Yeah. It's rare that she gets a moment of peace. But we were saying that, so if you are watching Ali or other mothers out there, if the only moment you have during your day is while you're pouring the cereal into the bowl for your children and then pouring the milk on the cereal for your children, just take that moment if you can, right? Yeah. To just be like, okay, and listen to it as it falls into the bowl and like listen to the milk and watch how it splashes.
Clear your mind and give yourself a little bit of break, peace, right?
And I know that can probably sound a little bit silly and a little bit like, all right, it's just cereal. I'm not going to concentrate on cereal or concentrate on my coffee. I'm just going to throw it in and, you know. But honestly, if you just try it once, just
try it.
Yeah, bringing yourself into that moment and taking a breath and just kind of not thinking about anything else, and it calms the whole body. It's one of these things, right? You have to figure out what works for you.
Yeah.
But once you do, and once you've tried a few things, don't be scared to try different things. Once you start to feel the benefits, then you're like, okay,
it's
now
over.
what can I do? What else can I try?
Exactly, right? It builds on to one another. Like, there's certain times where you'll just pause and you'll just take in the moment, right? Or there's times where you'll set aside time throughout your day to take those 10 minutes like we do. Like this morning, we both set a timer and we both meditate for 15 minutes, right? Yep. And that's personal to us. Sometimes we do guided, sometimes we do music, sometimes we do Like there's so many options.
I change it every day. It depends on how I feel. Some days I just sit in silence and I just say, right, whatever comes into my head, I'll have a little look at it and then tell it to go away, right?
Yeah.
Other days, this morning, I did a guided meditation because that's what I wanted to do.
Exactly.
It wasn't tinkly, airy fairy music though.
No, but this is why you should meditate, right? It's so beneficial. It's so stress relieving. It's so healthy. It makes you feel better, right? So why wouldn't you do something that makes you happier, right? We're about being happy. We're about
definitely
seeking things that are going to make us feel better, right?
Yeah.
And this is definitely one of them, right? Like 100% stand by it.
Yeah.
It's helped me so much.
I think it's the sole thing really that keeps me on track. Everything stems from meditation for me personally, because it's one of the first things I do every morning. I even do it right before bed as well.
Exactly.
And it's a great reset. It puts things into perspective, which is what I really like.
Yeah, and it allows you to like take a look at stuff from an objective point
Yeah.
of view. You're standing back looking at stuff and
Yeah.
being like, okay, is this really that serious, or is this that, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it makes things lighter. It really does.
It really does, yeah. And obviously it's so easy for us now because we're quite far into our meditation journey. It is a habit for us. Like we do it every single day, right? And like we said, we wanted to make this video because we wanted to show you that it's more accessible than it might seem. Like we said, the most simple thing is to just stop at some point whenever you can and just take a deep breath in and then out,
Right.
And just see how that relaxes you and puts things into perspective and how that makes you feel. We just want more people to feel good, right?
Yeah,
And
we want you to feel happy. We want to say, hey, we challenge you. Go and try it. Do something for yourself. Take care of you, right? Why not be happier?
If you do try anything, let us know in the comments below. If you already meditate, let us know as well.
Yeah.
I'd love to hear your stories about it.
And maybe we'll try something you're doing because
Yeah.
we're always open to suggestions.
Definitely.
Awesome.
Peace.
Ciao.